Hey, do you want to rock? Okay, let's rock. There we go. Oh, shh, 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 shh.
That Dragon Cancer opens with little in the way of explanation. You have to feel that there's been an assumption placed on what the player knows, simply based on the title of the game. After interacting with the first environment, you hear a very real conversation taking place between father and children, just not the child that you're interacting with. This opens up the context a little more and deals brutally in explaining to the other children of the family that their little brother is different, prompting the greatest childlike response of the entire narrative. The narrative's the only part of this game that deserves much praise, and I think it's so strong because it happens to be legitimate and from the heart. Recounting the experiences of your suffering child can't have been easy. The whole progression system of that Dragon Cancer is relatively non-existent. It's a series of clunky mini-games or interactions that serve as nothing other than cues for the dialogue to begin. Dialogue which unfortunately you don't have enough control over. Telling a heart-wrenching story is all the game seems to boil down to, and whilst it's certainly a story to be heard, it isn't really a story that pays off. The rough around the edges polygonal art style is warm and vibrant, colours really do pop, yet the lack of facial features impede immersion, which although not immediately intrusive, it does mean that certain scenes lack more power than they perhaps should. When it comes to the game's sound design, it's quaint and real, the spoken dialogue coming largely from real life counterparts, really reminding you that someone went through this. It's not just a story that's being told, it's a true one. At times it can sound amateur and low quality, but in the context of the game, it's hard to consider that an issue. Ultimately, that Dragon Cancer sits on the fence. It's a raw and real story about the life of a little boy and his family fighting cancer. But as a game, it's a mechanical mess, with some shoddy design and at times poor editing. The game works, yet the controls are finicky. The narrative makes you feel emotion, but at times feels somewhat forced. A lovely ode to an unfortunately ill child. A child whose parents and family loved him more than the world. A child who battled, but with a smile on his face. A child who did things most little boys his age would do. A child taken from the world too soon, with parents loving enough to turn his story into art.